Success is rarely destroyed by one big mistake. It is eaten slowly by the habits you ignore. The hidden enemy of growth is not loud. It does not announce itself. It works quietly in the background. It's in the hours wasted on distractions, the dreams postponed because of fear, and the comfort that convinces you there is no need to push harder. This silent killer takes away your energy, your focus, and your discipline piece by piece, until one day you realize years have passed, but nothing has changed. If you cannot identify it, it will control you. But once you see it clearly, you can finally break free and unlock your true potential. One of the most dangerous enemies of success is not failure, it is delay. Failure teaches you lessons, but delay teaches you nothing. It looks harmless because it whispers, "Not today, tomorrow will be better." And so people wait. But the truth is, tomorrow rarely comes the way they imagine. Delay does not strike like a storm. It seeps in like a shadow. You don't even notice it until years pass. You tell yourself you're planning, preparing, or waiting for the right time. But beneath these words lies fear and hesitation. Delay disguises itself as wisdom, but in reality it is theft. When you delay, you trade your most valuable asset, time, for nothing. Money can be regained. Opportunities can return, but time never comes back. Every hour lost to delay is a piece of life you can never buy again. Yet most people protect their money while wasting their time. The quiet trap of delay often begins with small excuses. I'll start after the weekend. I'll begin once I feel ready. These small excuses pile up, and suddenly weeks, months, or even years are gone. The enemy is not that you failed, it's that you never even started. Delay gives comfort, but it kills momentum. When you say not now, your energy cools, your motivation fades, and your dream grows distant. Momentum is a powerful force, but delay is its silent assassin. Without momentum, even the greatest idea remains trapped in your head. Many people wait for the perfect time, but perfection is an illusion. There is no day when everything aligns, when you feel confident, have enough money, and face no risk. Delay convinces you such a day will arrive, but it never does. The perfect time is the time you begin. Delay often hides in fear. People fear failure, rejection, or making mistakes, so they cover it up with waiting. They say, "I need more preparation," when in reality they are simply afraid. Delay is fear in disguise, and the longer you wait, the stronger it becomes. Another trap is comfort. Delay feels easier because it postpones effort. You tell yourself you'll work later, and in the moment it feels harmless. But comfort today creates regret tomorrow. The small comfort of delay robs you of the great comfort of success. Delay also steals opportunities. Some doors only stay open for a short time. By the time you finally move, the chance is gone. Life rewards those who act quickly, not those who wait endlessly. Delay makes you late to opportunities that were once within your reach. The quiet trap of delay doesn't just hurt you, it hurts those who depend on you. Families, teams, and communities often suffer because of one person's hesitation. Delay is selfish because it thinks only of fear and comfort, not of responsibility and impact. Delay creates regret more than failure ever does. When you fail, you can say, "At least I tried," but when you delay, you have nothing. Regret is heavier than failure because it comes with the knowledge that you could have acted but chose not to. Another danger is that delay becomes a habit. Once you delay one decision, it becomes easier to delay another. Soon, it is your lifestyle. Success requires consistency, but delay replaces consistency with excuses. Over time, your habit of delay builds a wall between you and achievement. Delay also keeps you in a cycle of planning. You make notes, strategies, and schedules, but never take action. Planning feels productive, but without execution, it is only a form of delay. Success does not come to the best plan. It comes to the plan acted upon. Fear of starting small is another reason delay grows. People want to begin big, perfect, and impressive. When they cannot, they delay. But every great company, every great success began with small, imperfect steps. Delay robs you of greatness because it convinces you small beginnings are not enough. Delay also kills trust. If you promise yourself or others to act but never follow through, people lose confidence in you. More importantly, you lose confidence in yourself. Each delay weakens your self-belief until you no longer trust your own words. The trap of delay is dangerous because it feels safe. Nothing happens today, no pain, no failure, but safety is an illusion. While you feel safe in delay, the world is moving forward. Competitors act, opportunities shift, and progress leaves you behind. Delay also makes challenges bigger. A small task postponed becomes a mountain later. A small problem ignored grows into a crisis. Delay does not erase difficulty. It multiplies. Acting now is always easier than acting later, but delay convinces you otherwise. One truth I learned is that delay steals youth. When you are young, you have energy, creativity, and time. If you delay during these years, you waste the very season designed for growth. Later in life, you realize the years cannot return, no matter how much you want them. The quiet trap of delay can only be broken by action. Not big action, just the first step. Start where you are with what you have and grow along the way. The chains of delay break the moment you choose progress over excuses. Delay is the silent killer of dreams. It looks harmless but destroys futures. Do not wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is built by what you do today. Every moment of action moves you closer to freedom. Every moment of delay keeps you chained. The choice is yours. Comfort is one of the most deceptive traps in life. It does not come with warnings, it does not shout, and it does not feel dangerous. In fact, it feels pleasant, safe, and relaxing. Yet discomfort slowly kills ambition. It convinces you that where you are is enough, even when deep inside you know you were meant for more. In the beginning, comfort seems like a reward. You work a little, achieve a little, and then you rest. But the problem is, once you taste comfort, you start to crave it more than progress. Comfort becomes addictive, and ambition, which once burned brightly, begins to fade into silence. The danger of comfort is that it replaces hunger with satisfaction. Hunger drives people to create, to fight, to innovate. But when you feel too comfortable, you stop moving. History shows that civilizations collapse not from outside enemies, but from inside comfort. The same happens in personal life. Comfort is also deceptive because it does not destroy you immediately. It weakens you slowly. You don't notice the change at first. One day of comfort seems harmless, then 1 week, then 1 month. But over years, comfort steals the discipline and drive that success demands. Ambition is like a muscle. It must be exercised to grow. Comfort, however, puts that muscle to sleep. When you choose comfort too often, your ability to endure challenges shrinks. Eventually, even small obstacles feel impossible because your ambition is no longer strong enough to carry you forward. One of the biggest dangers is the comfort of good enough. You may not be struggling, but you are not thriving either. You settle for an average job, an average income, an average life. Good enough becomes the enemy of great, and comfort convinces you that average is acceptable. Comfort also destroys creativity. When everything feels safe, you stop looking for better ways to do things. You stop asking questions, stop innovating, stop dreaming. Ambition thrives in discomfort, but in comfort, imagination dies. Many people stop creating not because they lack ideas, but because they live too comfortably. Another trap is the comfort of routine. Doing the same thing every day feels safe, but it also makes you predictable. Progress requires change, but comfort tells you stay where you are. The more you cling to routine, the more your ambition suffocates in repetition. The comfort of small success is also dangerous. When you achieve a little, you feel satisfied. Instead of using that success as fuel for more, you relax. But success is not a final destination. It is a stepping stone. Comfort makes you stop climbing after the first few steps. Comfort is dangerous because it makes you forget pain. Pain is a teacher. It pushes you to grow, to improve, to find solutions. But comfort hides that urgency. When you feel too comfortable, you lose the drive to escape discomfort, and without that push, ambition withers. Another hidden cost of comfort is missed opportunity. While you are resting in safety, others are pushing forward. The world does not stop moving just because you do. Comfort makes you blind to the fact that progress is happening all around you, and by the time you wake up, you are far behind. Comfort also teaches excuses. You say, I deserve a break. I have already done enough. I can do it tomorrow. These excuses sound harmless, but they are the language of lost ambition. Each excuse builds a wall between you and the goals you once chased with passion. The comfort of wealth is as dangerous as the comfort of poverty. Poor people sometimes settle because survival feels safe. Rich people sometimes settle because they think they have achieved enough. In both cases, comfort steals ambition. True growth only comes when you keep moving forward. Ambition weakens when you confuse rest with comfort. Rest restores energy, but comfort drains it. Rest is temporary, designed to prepare you for the next challenge. Comfort is permanent, designed to make you avoid challenges. One builds ambition, the other destroys it. Another trap is the comfort of approval. People stop chasing their vision because they already feel accepted by society. They enjoy the comfort of being liked, so they never risk being different. But ambition requires courage, and courage always makes you uncomfortable in the eyes of others. Comfort shrinks vision. You may have once dreamed of building something great, but comfort convinces you to think smaller. It whispers, why aim so high? What you have is enough. And slowly your vision collapses into something ordinary, far less than what you are capable of achieving. The comfort of fear is another subtle trap. Sometimes people choose not to act because it feels safer. They avoid risk, telling themselves it is wisdom. But this is not wisdom, it is comfort. And by choosing it, they protect themselves from danger, but also from success. Comfort also kills discipline. Discipline requires sacrifice and effort, but comfort rejects both. Without discipline, goals remain dreams. Comfort allows you to talk about ambition, but never act on it. You feel like you are progressing, but in truth, you are standing still. The only way to defeat comfort is to choose discomfort intentionally. Put yourself in situations that stretch you. Learn new skills, face challenges, and accept risks. Growth is uncomfortable, but that discomfort is proof that ambition is alive. The stronger the discomfort, the greater the opportunity. Comfort is sweet at first, but bitter later. Ambition is bitter at first, but sweet later. You cannot have both. If you allow comfort to lead your life, your ambition will die quietly. But if you choose ambition over comfort, your life may feel harder, yet your future will be far greater than you ever imagined. Doubt is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry, even though it cannot be seen. It does not sit on your shoulders like a bag of stones, but it presses down on your spirit. Doubt whispers quietly, yet its weight is enough to crush ambition, dreams, and courage before they ever take flight. The danger of doubt is that it feels reasonable. It pretends to be logic. It says, what if you fail? What if people laugh at you? What if it's impossible? These questions sound smart, but in truth, they are chains disguised as wisdom. Doubt convinces you to stay small while calling it safety. Unlike fear, which often shouts, doubt whispers. That is why it is so dangerous. Fear is obvious, you can see it and fight it. But doubt sneaks in silently. It makes you second-guess your decisions. hesitate on your actions, and slowly lose faith in yourself without realizing it. When doubt takes root, even small challenges look like mountains. What others climb easily feels impossible to you. The work is the same, but the mindset is heavier. The hidden weight of doubt makes you weaker, not because of the task, but because of how you see yourself. Doubt often enters through failure. When you try and fall, doubt uses that moment to build its argument. See, you were never good enough. But failure is a lesson, not a life sentence. Doubt lies by turning temporary setbacks into permanent conclusions. Another way doubt grows is through comparison. You look at others who are richer, smarter, or more successful, and you begin to wonder if you will ever catch up. But comparison is a thief. It steals your confidence and feeds your doubt until you no longer focus on your own path. The hidden weight of doubt is dangerous because it slows action. Doubt makes you think twice, then 3 times, then 10 times, until the opportunity is gone. While you hesitate, others act. Doubt does not just weigh you down, it lets the world pass you by. Doubt also spreads into relationships. When you doubt yourself, you begin to doubt others. You lose trust in your team, your family, even your friends. Suddenly, collaboration becomes difficult because you cannot believe in anyone when you do not believe in yourself. Another burden doubt creates is silence. You have ideas, but you do not share them. You have dreams, but you do not speak them. You hold back thinking, maybe it's not good enough. And in that silence, opportunities vanish. Doubt kills voices before the world ever hears them. Doubt is also expensive. It costs you time, energy, and chances. You spend hours arguing with yourself. Instead of building, you waste days waiting for confidence that never arrives. In the end, doubt leaves you tired, but with nothing to show for the effort. The hidden weight of doubt often grows from the opinions of others. A single negative comment can echo in your head for years. You forget the encouragement, but you remember the criticism. Doubt uses those voices to replay failure in advance, making you give up before trying. One of the most destructive effects of doubt is wasted talent. Many brilliant people never shine because they doubt themselves. Their skills remain hidden, their ideas untested, their dreams unfulfilled. The world loses not because they lacked ability, but because doubt convinced them to bury it. Doubt also creates dependency. When you don't trust your own decisions, you rely too much on others to guide you. Advice is valuable, but when you cannot move without approval, you are no longer free. Doubt makes you a prisoner to the opinions of others. Another hidden danger is that doubt weakens discipline. Even when you start, doubt whispers, "Why bother? You'll fail anyway." Discipline requires faith in the process, but doubt eats that faith until you stop showing up. Doubt is not just heavy, it is corrosive. Doubt even distorts memory. You remember your failures more vividly than your victories. You forget the times you succeeded, and you replay the times you stumbled. This imbalance makes you believe you are weaker than you are, even when the truth says otherwise. The weight of doubt can be generational. Parents who doubt themselves often teach their children the same. They say, "Don't aim too high, don't risk too much," and the cycle continues. Doubt becomes a family tradition, passed down quietly like an invisible inheritance. But here is the truth. Doubt is a liar. It tells you what could go wrong, but never what could go right. It shows you the risk, but hides the reward. The way to defeat it is not to wait until it disappears, but to act while it still whispers in your ear. The antidote to doubt is experience. The more you act, the more evidence you build against doubt's lies. Every small success becomes proof that you are capable. Every failure survived becomes proof that you are stronger than you think. Doubt weakens in the face of action. Another way to drop the weight is to change your environment. Surround yourself with people who believe in growth, not people who feed doubt. When the voices around you are filled with possibility, it becomes harder for the voice of doubt to dominate. Doubt is heavy, but only if you carry it. You can put it down at any time by acting, learning, and trusting yourself. Do not let doubt write your story. The world does not need another dream buried under hesitation. It needs your courage, your voice, and your ambition. Success is rarely destroyed in one moment. Most of the time, it is poisoned slowly by habits that seem harmless. These habits creep into daily life like small drops of poison, unnoticed at first, but deadly over time. They don't kill dreams quickly. They weaken them until nothing is left. One of the most dangerous habits is procrastination. It feels harmless because you promise yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow often turns into next week, next month, or never. Every delayed action weakens momentum. Success cannot grow in the soil of constant delay. Another habit that poisons success is negative thinking. When your first reaction to opportunities is, it won't work, you kill possibility before it even begins. Negative thoughts spread like a disease, infecting creativity, courage, and vision, until you no longer believe in yourself. The habit of seeking comfort also weakens ambition. Success requires discomfort, late nights, tough decisions, and endless learning. But when you choose comfort over growth, you slowly trade your future for temporary ease. Comfort feels safe, but it is poison to ambition. Distraction is another silent habit. Hours disappear into screens, gossip, or meaningless activities. At first, it feels like relaxation, but over time, it becomes a thief. Success requires focus, and distraction poisons focus until your goals blur into the background. Excuses are also deadly. The habit of saying, I can't, because slowly kills responsibility. Every excuse is like a shield against action, protecting laziness but attacking growth. The more excuses you make, the less you move forward. Excuses feed failure while starving success. Another poison is inconsistency. Success does not come from what you do once in a while, it comes from what you do every day. When you show up only when you feel like it, your progress dies. Inconsistency is a slow, silent killer of even the best dreams. The habit of complaining is also toxic. Complaints waste energy and attract negativity. Instead of finding solutions, you focus on problems. Complaining does not change your life. It only poisons your mindset, making progress harder each day. Comparison is another deadly habit. Instead of focusing on your own journey, you measure yourself against others. This steals joy and creates doubt. Worse, it distracts you from your own path. Success cannot grow in a heart filled with envy. Overspending is another habit that poisons long-term success. Many people earn well but waste it on luxuries and appearances. Money is a tool, but when you use it only for consumption, you build nothing. Overspending slowly replaces wealth with debt. Another subtle poison is avoiding feedback. People who refuse correction cannot grow. Feedback is uncomfortable, but it saves you from repeating mistakes. If you ignore it, your weaknesses multiply silently until they collapse your progress. The habit of blaming others also kills growth. Every time you point fingers at others, you avoid responsibility. Blame feels good in the moment, but it poisons accountability. And without accountability, success dies. Another poison is impatience. Success is built over years, but impatience demands results today. When results don't appear instantly, impatient people quit. Success is not destroyed by lack of opportunity. It is destroyed by walking away too soon. The habit of quitting easily is another killer. Every time you give up, you train yourself to surrender. Over time, this habit builds weakness into your character. Success requires endurance, and quitting poisons that endurance until nothing remains. Another silent poison is overconfidence. Believing you know enough stops you from learning. Overconfidence blinds you to mistakes and blinds you to growth. The moment you stop learning, you start dying. Success cannot survive arrogance. Poor health habits also poison success. Neglecting sleep, ignoring exercise, and abusing your body may not harm you today, but they weaken you over time. A tired body cannot carry big dreams. True success needs health as much as it needs effort. The habit of surrounding yourself with the wrong people is another poison. Negative, lazy, or toxic people slowly drain your ambition. You may not notice it at first, but over time, their mindset becomes yours. Success dies when you live in a circle that pulls you down. Now, the dangerous habit is talking more than doing. Many people love to discuss big plans, but they never execute them. Talking gives the illusion of progress, but without action, it is poison. Success is built by hands, not by words. The habit of ignoring small wins also weakens motivation. When you fail to celebrate progress, you lose energy. Success is not built in giant leaps, it is built in small steps. Ignoring those steps poisons enthusiasm until you no longer feel like moving forward. Success is not only destroyed by big mistakes, it is slowly poisoned by daily habits that seem small. Procrastination, excuses, comfort, and negativity. All of them look harmless, but eat away at your future. Break these habits, and you remove the poison. Build new ones, and success will flourish. Every person dreams of progress, but many feel as though something unseen blocks their way. This is the invisible wall, a barrier not made of bricks or steel, but of mindset, fear, and habits. It is not physical, yet it is strong enough to stop entire lives from moving forward. The invisible wall is built from doubt. Every time you question your ability, the wall grows taller. You begin to believe opportunities are for others, not for you. Doubt convinces you the wall is too high, but the truth is, it is your doubt that gave the wall its height. Another brick in this wall is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. All of these fears add thickness to the wall. They make progress look dangerous. But most of these fears exist only in your imagination. The wall is real only because you keep building it. Comfort also strengthens this wall. When you settle for good enough, you stop climbing. The wall looks safer than what's beyond it. But comfort is deceptive. It convinces you that the wall is protection, when in reality, it is a prison keeping you from growth. Excuses are another layer of this invisible barrier. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have support. Each excuse adds another block. Soon the wall is so wide that you can no longer see the possibility on the other side. Excuses make the wall permanent. Comparison builds the wall higher. When you measure your life against others, you create unnecessary pressure. Instead of climbing your own path, you stare at someone else's. That habit distracts you, drains energy, and makes the wall appear stronger than it really is. The invisible wall is also reinforced by procrastination. Every delay makes the wall harder to climb. Small tasks postponed today turn into big mountains tomorrow. Procrastination does not just slow you down, it thickens the wall until you can no longer imagine moving past it. One of the strongest materials in this wall is negativity. Surround yourself with negative people, and their doubts become your bricks. Listen to constant complaints, and soon you are locked inside their mindset. Negativity is contagious. It builds walls faster than anything else. The invisible wall is tricky because it feels real, but it is not. You can't touch it, but you feel its weight. You can't see it, but you see its results. It exists only in the choices you make daily. And just as you built it, you can also tear it down. This wall grows in silence. While you are busy avoiding risks, avoiding effort, or avoiding discomfort, the wall rises quietly. One day you look up and realize you are stuck. Progress feels far away, not because it is unreachable, but because you have spent years building walls instead of doors. The invisible wall is strengthened by a lack of vision. When you cannot see beyond today, you stop dreaming. Without dreams, you stop trying. The wall thrives in small thinking. But when you set bigger goals, you begin to see cracks in it. Vision weakens walls. Another invisible block is waiting for permission. Many people wait for others to validate their ideas, to approve their choices, or to encourage their steps. But waiting for permission is like locking yourself inside. No one else can break that wall. It begins with your decision. The wall also grows when you underestimate small actions. You think one small effort will not matter, so you do nothing. But progress is always built from small steps. Each one chips away at the wall. Refusing to act only keeps it standing strong. Fear of mistakes also feeds this wall. You believe one wrong step will ruin everything. But mistakes are not walls. They are lessons. The real wall is built when you refuse to try at all. Failure is a doorway forward. Inaction is the wall that keeps you trapped. The invisible wall is dangerous because it looks permanent. People live their whole lives believing they cannot move forward, not realizing the wall was made from their own beliefs. It is not the world stopping them. It is the prison they built in their own minds. The wall also thrives on impatience. You want fast results, and when they don't come, you give up. Each abandoned effort becomes another layer. The more you quit, the more the wall grows, until it feels impossible to climb. Patience is the hammer that breaks it down. Sometimes the wall is built from silence. You have dreams, but you never speak them, never share them, never pursue them. Unspoken dreams become bricks. Over time, the silence turns into regret, and regret is the heaviest part of the wall. The good news is this: the wall is invisible, which means it is not real stone. It is changeable. The same habits that built it can be reversed. Every act of courage, every disciplined step, every small victory begins to remove bricks. The wall is not as strong as you believe. To break the wall, you need consistency. One day of effort won't knock it down, but daily persistence will. Every time you choose growth over comfort, action over excuses, and vision over fear, the wall weakens. Progress is waiting just beyond it. The invisible wall is not out there. It is in here, in the choices you make and the beliefs you hold. Tear it down, and you will discover progress was never far away. The only thing between you and success was the wall you built and the courage to break it. Fear rarely introduces itself honestly. It does not say, "I am fear, and I am here to stop you." Instead, it disguises itself as safety. It whispers, "Stay where you are. Don't take risks. Protect yourself." And because safety feels good, many people mistake fear for wisdom. This disguise is powerful because humans naturally crave security. We want stable jobs, predictable routines, and guaranteed outcomes. But growth does not come from what is safe. Growth lives in uncertainty, and fear knows this. That is why it hides as safety, so you will avoid the unknown. Fear convinces you that staying in the same place is protection. It tells you not to change careers, not to start that business, not to move to that new city. You think you are being careful, but in truth, you are being controlled. Fear locks you inside safety's cage. When fear masks as safety, you start calling hesitation planning. You tell yourself you are preparing, waiting, or thinking carefully. But what you are really doing is avoiding action. Safety becomes a cover for inaction, and fear quietly wins. Fear also hides behind the advice of others. People say, "Don't risk too much. Stay where you are. Be practical." Some advice is wise, but much of it is fear passed from one person to another. When you accept it blindly, you adopt their fear as your own. Another way fear pretends to be safety is by exaggerating risk. It makes problems look bigger than they are, and opportunities smaller than they are. You believe the risk is too high, so you choose the safe path. But most risks are not as dangerous as fear makes them seem. Fear also disguises itself in routine. Doing the same thing every day feels safe. You know what to expect. But that routine is often a prison. Fear keeps you locked there, convincing you that change is dangerous when in reality, routine is slowly killing your ambition. When fear wears the mask of safety, you become addicted to guarantees. You want certainty before you act. You want proof before you believe. But nothing in life is guaranteed. Success requires stepping forward without knowing every detail. Fear convinces you to wait. But waiting only delays progress. Fear also uses past pain to strengthen its disguise. If you failed once, fear reminds you endlessly, saying, "Don't try again, stay safe." You think you are protecting yourself from more pain, but what you are really doing is protecting fear's control over your future. The mask of safety often shows up in careers. Many people stay in jobs they dislike, not because they have no options, but because fear convinces them it is safer to stay. Years pass and regret grows. The job felt safe, but in reality, it was fear stealing their potential. Fear also hides in the comfort of relationships. You may stay around negative or toxic people because leaving feels risky. You call it loyalty, but often it is fear of being alone. Safety becomes an excuse, and ambition suffocates inside the wrong company. Another disguise fear uses is overthinking. You analyze endlessly, gathering information, making plans. It looks like intelligence, but it is fear's clever way of keeping you from acting. Thinking too long becomes paralysis. While you think, opportunities pass by. Fear also hides as humility. You say, "I'm not ready. I'm not good enough." It sounds like modesty, but often it is fear pretending to be humility. True humility learns and grows. False humility avoids growth and calls it safety. When fear wears the mask of safety, it convinces you that failure is final. You avoid trying because you don't want to lose. But the real loss is not failing. It is refusing to try. Safety seems like protection, but it is actually a guarantee of regret. Fear also hides impatience. Sometimes waiting is wise, but often waiting is just fear dressed in patience. You tell yourself it's not the right time, but in truth, you are scared. Patience without action is just another form of delay. The disguise of safety is dangerous because it feels good. You feel smart, careful, and responsible. But in reality, you are choosing stagnation. Fear wins not by shouting, but by convincing you that staying still is the best choice. Another trap is believing that small risks are unnecessary. You think, why change? I am okay here. But safety is never permanent. The world is always changing. What feels safe today may collapse tomorrow. Fear convinces you to stay, but the ground under you is already shifting. The truth is, safety without growth is an illusion. A tree that stops growing begins to die. A person who stops moving forward begins to shrink. Fear tells you safety is survival, but in reality, it is slow decay. The only way to defeat fear's disguise is through courage. Not blind courage, but informed courage. You learn, you prepare, and then you act anyway. The mask of safety falls apart the moment you choose action over hesitation. Fear will always try to hide behind the mask of safety. It will whisper excuses that sound wise, logical, and protective. But true safety is not staying still. It is moving forward, building strength and growing resilience. The real danger is not risk. It is letting fear control your life. Potential is one of the greatest gifts a person can have, but also one of the most fragile. It is silent, invisible, and easy to ignore. The tragedy is not that people lack potential. It is that they allow it to be stolen quietly, day by day, without even realizing it. The first silent thief of potential is wasted time. Hours spent on distractions feel small, but they accumulate. Each wasted day is a piece of your future gone forever. The thief does not announce itself. It quietly steals the years you could have used to build greatness. Another thief is self-doubt. When you constantly question yourself, you limit what you attempt. You may have the skill, the intelligence, and the opportunity, but doubt convinces you not to act. The potential is there, but it dies unused, stolen by hesitation. The silent theft of potential also comes from comfort. Comfort whispers, "You're fine where you are," but potential is never realized in safety. It grows in discomfort, challenge, and risk. Each time you choose comfort over growth, you give away a piece of your potential. Fear is another quiet thief. It rarely shouts, it whispers warnings that seem protective. Fear convinces you not to try, not to risk, not to dream bigger. The cost of fear is invisible, but it is heavy. It steals opportunities before you even see them. Excuses also rob potential silently. I don't have time. I don't have resources. I don't have support. These excuses feel justified, but they are thieves in disguise. Each excuse blocks action, and without action, potential remains locked away, wasted in silence. Another thief is procrastination. You delay action, telling yourself you will start tomorrow, but tomorrow turns into months, then years. By the time you look back, the potential is still there, but the time to use it has disappeared forever. Negative environments also steal potential. Surround yourself with people who complain, doubt, and settle, and soon you will do the same. Their voices slowly convince you that your dreams are impossible. Potential is not lost. It is poisoned by the company you keep. The thief of comparison is subtle but powerful. Looking at others distracts you from your own gifts. You spend so much time measuring yourself against others that you neglect your unique abilities. Comparison blinds you to what you could become, and your potential quietly slips away. Another silent theft comes from ignoring learning. Potential grows with knowledge and skills. If you stop learning, your potential stagnates. The world keeps moving, but you stay still. Slowly, the gap widens, and your unused potential fades into irrelevance. Laziness is a thief disguised as rest. Rest restores energy, but laziness drains it. The habit of avoiding effort feels harmless, but it eats away at discipline. Without effort, potential never turns into achievement. Laziness keeps your abilities locked inside forever. The silent theft of potential also happens when you aim too low. You set goals that are safe and easy, so you never stretch. You achieve them, but your real abilities remain untouched. The thief here is not failure, it is small ambition that limits growth. Another thief is pride. When you believe you already know enough, you stop growing. Pride blinds you to feedback and correction. Over time, the skills you refuse to sharpen grow dull. Pride quietly steals the future that humility could have built. The weight of regret is also a thief. When you focus on past mistakes, you paralyze yourself. Instead of learning, you dwell. Regret cannot change yesterday, but it can steal tomorrow. It keeps your eyes on the past, while your potential for the future slips away. The silent theft of potential often happens in routines. Doing the same things over and over without growth feels safe, but it keeps you locked in mediocrity. Potential thrives on challenge, not repetition without new effort. The thief of routine kills progress. Another thief is the desire for instant results. Potential takes time to grow, but impatience convinces you to quit before progress becomes visible. You stop watering the seed just before it sprouts. Impatience steals not only effort but the harvest itself. The silent thief also hides in fear of judgment. You worry about what others will think, so you hold back. But those who judge do not live your life. Still, you give them power over your choices. This fear robs you of becoming who you were meant to be. Sometimes potential is stolen by silence. You have ideas, but you never share them. You have talents, but you never show them. You live unseen, not because you lack ability, but because you allow the thief of silence to keep you hidden. The most painful theft of potential is when people give up too soon. They work hard, but when results take time, they stop. Success may have been one step away, but quitting handed victory to the thief. Giving up is the fastest way to lose everything potential promised. Potential is not lost in one moment. It is stolen piece by piece, silently through daily choices. Every time you waste time, surrender to fear, or choose comfort, the thief wins. But every time you act, learn, and push forward, you protect your gift. Don't let silence steal your greatness. True growth is not something that happens by accident. It is unlocked through deliberate choices and daily actions. Many people wait for growth to come to them, but growth does not knock on your door. You must search for it, prepare for it, and work for it. The path to true growth begins with self-awareness. You must be honest about who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses. Pretending to be someone else blocks growth. Only when you know yourself can you build on your strengths and repair your weaknesses. Another key is embracing discomfort. Growth never happens inside comfort zones. The moment you step into uncertainty, you stretch your abilities. Discomfort feels painful, but it is proof that you are moving forward. Without it, you are standing still. Discipline unlocks growth. Talent alone is not enough. Many people are gifted, but without discipline, their potential fades. Discipline means showing up every day, even when motivation disappears. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Learning is another gate on this path. The world is changing fast. If you stop learning, you fall behind. Growth belongs to those who remain students forever, who seek knowledge not just for survival, but for innovation and leadership. Courage is a master key to growth. Fear will always stand at the entrance of opportunity. You cannot wait for fear to vanish. You must move while it still whispers in your ear. Every act of courage opens a door that fear tried to keep shut. Resilience also unlocks growth. Life will test you with failure, rejection, and setbacks. Most people quit, but resilient people rise again. Each time you rise, you grow stronger. Resilience builds the muscle that makes progress unshakable. Vision lights the path of growth. Without a clear direction, you wander in circles. Vision gives meaning to effort and inspires persistence. Even when progress is slow, vision reminds you why you started. It keeps you moving when others stop. True growth also requires patience. Seeds take time to become trees, and trees take time to bear fruit. Growth is a long process, not an instant event. Those who stay consistent over time unlock results that impatience can never achieve. Humility is a surprising door to growth. Arrogance blinds you to lessons, but humility keeps your mind open. It allows you to learn from anyone, even from failure. The humble may not look strong, but they unlock growth faster than the proud. Another key is adaptability. The world is never still. What works today may fail tomorrow. If you refuse to adapt, you get stuck behind change. Growth is unlocked when you stay flexible, learning new ways and adjusting your strategies with time. Gratitude also fuels growth. When you are grateful, you see progress instead of only problems. Gratitude gives you strength to continue. Even when results are small, it turns every step into a victory, keeping your energy alive for the journey ahead. Focus is essential. The path to growth has many distractions. Without focus, you scatter your energy across too many directions. Focus unlocks momentum. By committing to one path with clarity, you achieve more than chasing 100 ideas halfway. Accountability unlocks growth. When you take responsibility for your actions, You gain control over your results. Blame keeps you weak, but accountability keeps you strong. The moment you stop blaming and start owning your life, growth begins. Another secret is persistence. Growth is not one big step. It is thousands of small ones. Many quit too early, thinking nothing is happening. But persistence ensures that even when progress is invisible, change is still building beneath the surface. The path to growth also demands sacrifice. You must give up comfort, easy pleasures, and sometimes even approval from others. Sacrifice feels painful now, but it creates space for success later. Without sacrifice, growth has no room to expand. Surrounding yourself with the right people is also crucial. Growth thrives in the company of builders, dreamers, and believers. Negative, lazy, or fearful people pull you back. The right environment unlocks parts of you that you cannot unlock alone. Innovation is another key. True growth is not just repeating what others have done. It is finding better ways. Innovation requires curiosity and courage. It unlocks opportunities that ordinary thinking cannot reach, pushing you far beyond limits. The final step is consistency. Growth is not unlocked by one moment of brilliance, but by a lifetime of steady effort. When you commit to daily progress, even small steps, the compound effect is unstoppable. Consistency transforms effort into greatness. The path to true growth is not hidden, but it is narrow. It requires courage, patience, resilience, and vision. Most people never unlock it because they choose comfort over challenge. But if you are willing to pay the price, the path will open and the world will see the best version of you. Conclusion. The truth is, success does not die because of lack of talent or lack of opportunity. It dies when you allow the hidden enemy to live inside you. Every day you choose excuses instead of effort, comfort instead of courage, distraction instead of discipline. You feed the very thing that holds you back. If you want freedom, you must decide to fight what is silent but powerful. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for the perfect time. Start today with what you have, where you are. Break the chains of the unseen enemy, and you will discover that growth has always been within your reach.